Hey guys, how are you? Today I bring you 12 must-play games for fans of a good CRPG. Starting with Baldur's Gate 3, a game that has established itself as one of the best CRPGs ever created, and its acclaim is due to a combination of factors that elevate the genre to a new level. One of Baldur's Gate 3's greatest strengths is its fidelity and masterful adaptation of the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition system. It manages to transpose the freedom and complex rules of a tabletop RPG to the digital environment in an intuitive way, without losing depth. The combat system is deep and strategic, allowing players to use the environment, class abilities, and spells in creative ways. Player choices matter deeply, shaping the narrative, relationships with companions, and the fate of the world. There are multiple approaches to quests and challenges, from direct combat to diplomacy and cunning.
Allies worth having.
Together, we will strike down the Absolute.
Bow before me. Bow before the Absolute.
Disco Elysium stands out as one of the best CRPGs because it is a masterpiece of narrative and design, subverting many of the genre's conventions to offer a unique and deeply reflective experience. Instead of focusing on traditional combat, the game focuses on investigation, psychology, and the intricate webs of dialogue and thought. The strongest point of Disco Elysium is its breathtaking narrative and script. The game puts you in the shoes of an amnesiac detective with a monumental hangover, tasked with solving a murder in a post-revolutionary city. The game is a deep dive into various political ideologies, with factions and characters that represent different spectrums and consequences of their beliefs. It addresses themes such as communism, fascism, liberalism, and nationalism in a nuanced and critical way. Unlike many CRPGs that focus on combat skills, Disco Elysium features an innovative skill system fully integrated into the narrative.
If you could only find your gun.
It's okay.
With full voice acting for every single one of the city's beautiful people.
Yes. I'm going to unplug the microphone, okay?
And leave a bigger mark behind you in new quests.
You're big boys, you can handle it.
Divinity Original Sin 2, Definitive Edition, is widely considered one of the best CRPGs for several reasons, which elevate it to a level of excellence and innovation in the genre. Developed by Larian Studios, the same as Baldur's Gate 3, it refines and expands the concepts established in its predecessor, offering a deep, strategic, and incredibly reactive RPG experience. Combat is based on action points, AP, allowing great flexibility. You can move, attack, use abilities and items in any order, as long as you have enough AP. This freedom, combined with environmental interactions, allows for elaborate combos and creative solutions to challenges. Virtually all missions can be resolved in various ways: combat, persuasion, theft, stealth, or even manipulating the environment. Player choices matter and have visible consequences in the story and future interactions. You can kill almost any NPC in the game with consequences, often severe, that unfold organically. There are no locked paths that require a certain sequence.
seem far away. I can't be blinded by the dark. Yes, I won't be blinded by the dark.
Age of Reforging. The Freelands is a strategy and survival CRPG set in a medieval fantasy world. Released on April 28, 2025, by Kumpan Games and developed by Personae Game Studio, the game is available on Steam. It offers an open-world experience with high freedom, allowing players to create their own stories and legacies. The game takes place in the Freelands, a territory full of opportunities and dangers. As a Reforger chosen by the goddess of destiny, the player embarks on a medieval adventure, gathering allies, seeking survival, and building their own legend. The gameplay combines elements of RPG, real-time strategy, and open-world exploration. Players can explore 8 distinct ecological zones, including forests, swamps, deserts, and mountains. There are 9 cities and 30 unexplored wilderness locations to discover. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition may not have the same graphical brilliance or polish as more recent titles like Baldur's Gate 3 or Divinity, Original Sin 2, but it is considered one of the best CRPGs for very specific reasons that make it a fundamental pillar and, in many ways, a precursor to what these modern games would become. Its strength lies in its ambition, flexibility, and focus on the Dungeons & Dragons experience on PC, especially through its community and creation tools. A revolutionary feature for the time was the DM client, which allowed a player to act as a dungeon master in real time for other players. This means that a DM could interact with the players, spawn monsters, alter the environment, improvise, and shape the story as in a traditional D&D table, something rarely seen in CRPGs. The ability to create online servers where players could enter and exit, with their characters progressing in continuous stories managed by DMs or complex scripts, was innovative and drove an incredibly dedicated community that exists to this day. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire has established itself as one of the best CRPGs, and this is due to its ability to enhance and expand the solid foundations established by its predecessor while introducing innovative elements and a vibrant setting. Developed by Obsidian, known for its deep narratives and meaningful choices, Deadfire offers an RPG experience that captivates both veterans of the genre and new players. One of Deadfire's greatest innovations is its setting in the Deadfire archipelago. Far from traditional medieval fantasy settings, the game delves into a world inspired by the age of great navigation and Polynesian culture, with elements of fantasy. The introduction of a ship as your base of operations and means of transportation is revolutionary for the genre. Navigation, tactical naval battles, and crew management add a completely new and engaging layer of gameplay. The diverse biomes of the islands, from lush jungles to bustling port towns and active volcanoes, are visually stunning and full of personality. Wasteland 3 really stands out as one of the best modern CRPGs for several reasons that place it on par with the greats of the genre. The turn-based tactical combat system is extremely refined, offering impressive strategic depth. Each encounter works like a tactical puzzle, where positioning, use of the environment, and synergy between abilities make all the difference. The variety of possible builds and the way different specializations complement each other create a rich replay experience. The narrative is where the game really shines. Moral choices are genuinely difficult, with no obvious right or wrong answers. The game puts you in situations where you need to decide between saving a child or preserving resources for your base, or choosing between factions where both have valid points. These decisions have real consequences that reverberate throughout the entire campaign.
I know all about chopping people up. Why? Am I in trouble? Are you gonna haul me in? Oh, just a taste. A nibble here and there. In fact, I'm still hungry. Hardheads, it's dinner time!
Expeditions Rome is undoubtedly a good CRPG, and its quality is manifested in a series of aspects that distinguish it and make it a quite satisfactory experience for fans of the genre. Although it may not have the same level of massive recognition as a Baldur's Gate 3, it shines in its own qualities. One of its greatest assets is its setting in ancient Rome. While most CRPGs lean towards medieval fantasy or science fiction, Expeditions Rome delves into a rich and complex historical period. The game makes a notable effort to be historically accurate in its setting, names, cultures, and even in military aspects. This offers a refreshing change of pace and a chance to explore a familiar universe in a different way. It manages to convey the feeling of living in that period, with its political intrigues, imperial expansion, and the challenges of dealing with different cultures. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is an acclaimed isometric CRPG developed by Owlcat Games and published by Meta Publishing and Owlcat Games. Released in 2021, it is the successor to Pathfinder Kingmaker and, like its predecessor, is a faithful adaptation of the tabletop RPG campaign of the same name from the Pathfinder universe. The game takes place in the mythical world of Golarion, specifically in the nation of Mendev, which is at war against demonic hordes that invade the world through the World Wound, a magical rift that allows the passage of demons from the abyss to the mortal plane. The player takes on the role of a commander who, mysteriously, develops mythical powers after surviving a demonic attack in Kenabreese, a crusader city. Combat can be played in real time with pause or in turns, allowing players to choose the style they prefer for the strategy. The combat mechanics are deep and based on the rules of the Pathfinder tabletop RPG, with dice rolls and stat modifiers determining the success of actions. Warhammer Rogue Trader is an isometric RPG developed and published by Owlcat Games, the same creators of the acclaimed Pathfinder series. Released in December 2023 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series, this game immerses players in the dark and brutal universe of Warhammer 40,000. The game takes place in the Coronis Expanse, a poorly mapped and dangerous region of space accessible to the Imperium of humanity only through the treacherous Coronis Passage. The player takes on the role of the titular Rogue Trader, a member of a special aristocratic caste within the Empire. Rogue Traders are a unique mix of explorers, merchants, and feudal lords, with special permission from the Imperium to explore, trade, and conquer, all for the benefit of the Imperium. Combat is isometric and turn-based, requiring careful planning. Players control a group of up to 6 characters, positioning them strategically, utilizing cover, and exploiting enemy weaknesses. The shooting system is detailed, allowing actions such as shooting through multiple targets with a sniper or using burst fire against groups of enemies. Solasta, Crown of the Magister, is a turn-based tactical CRPG that seeks to bring the authentic experience of tabletop RPGs, like Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, to the computer. It was developed by Tactical Adventures, a team composed of longtime fans of paper RPGs. Solasta is known for its faithful adherence to the rules of the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons. This means that elements such as initiative rolling, opportunity attacks, skill tests based on dice, and the functioning of spells and abilities are reproduced accurately. Players create a group of 4 adventurers, choosing races, classes, personalities, and rolling dice to define the attributes. The personality of the characters influences their dialogues and interactions within the game. Combat is the strong point of the game, being tactical and turn-based. The verticality of the scenario is a crucial element, allowing players to use the environment to their advantage. It is possible to climb, jump, fly, push enemies into abysses, knock down bridges, walls, and columns. Lighting is also an important factor, with dark areas imposing penalties and some enemies possessing dark vision.
And we will be whole again.
The Thaumaturge is an isometric CRPG with a focus on history and ambiguous moral choices, developed by Fool's Theory and published by 11-Bit Studios. The gameplay follows the line of modern turn-based RPGs. Much of the action takes place in real time during exploration and investigation, while combat is turn-based. A crucial aspect of the game is the investigation. Victor can use his perception to see traces left in the world by thoughts and actions, which can be used to solve mysteries and gather information about people and objects. This information can be used to avoid combat, reveal secrets, or even discover important points in the story beforehand. The combat system is considered unique and deep by some, and although it is easy to learn, it can be challenging in higher difficulties. Victor, his allies, and the saviors possess powerful attacks. The saviors, when defeated, become susceptible to stronger attacks. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you next time.
Yet, I am not free from them myself.
Being a Thaumaturge is a sin?
Guilty, guilty, guilty.
I need to get out of here.
To the Thaumaturge's health.
Darkness does not exist without light.
What are you waiting for?